The most breathtaking moments are often the ones that vanish the fastest. This is the heart of impermanence as beauty, a concept woven through timeless tales that can fundamentally reshape your perspective. By the end of our journey, you will discover how to find profound joy not in holding on, but in letting go. We will uncover why a culture celebrates a flower that blooms for only a week and what a masterpiece made of sand can teach us about our own lives. What is one beautiful, fleeting thing you noticed today? A delicate pink cloud appears for just a few days, then vanishes on the spring breeze. This is the magic of the cherry blossom, a phenomenon that shapes an entire culture. In Japan, the sakura is far more than a flower. It is a living lesson in the beauty of things that do not last. The blossoms do not slowly wilt. They explode into a breathtaking spectacle of pink and white, covering the trees in a soft, brilliant haze. And then, almost as quickly as they arrived, the petals begin to fall, creating a gentle rain of color. This intense, short-lived beauty gives rise to a profound concept known as mono-no-aware. It is not a feeling of sadness or loss, but a deep, gentle awareness of how fleeting everything is. It is the poignant tug in your heart when you see something truly beautiful, precisely because you know it will not be here for long. This awareness does not spoil the moment. It perfects it, adding a layer of depth and significance that a permanent fixture could never possess. This is why people do not hide from the blossom's brief existence. They celebrate it with a tradition called hanami, which literally means flower viewing. Families and friends gather in parks for picnics under the flowering trees. They laugh, share food, and simply be present in that temporary world of pink. They are not there in mourning, waiting for the petals to fall. They are there in a state of joyful, collective appreciation for a magnificent performance that has a very definite and very beautiful ending. The cherry blossom teaches us that the reason something is so precious is woven directly into the fact that it is fleeting. Its grace is found in its goodbye. The same principle of letting go is made breathtakingly visible in the disciplined silence of a Tibetan monastery. Here, a team of monks gathers around a flat platform, their tools simple. They have small metal funnels called chakpur, and they are filled with millions of grains of vibrantly colored sand. For days, and sometimes for weeks, they will sit in meditation and focused silence. With painstaking precision, they tap the chakpur, guiding a tiny river of sand grain by grain. A universe begins to form on the platform. Intricate geometric patterns emerge, palaces of pure form and symbolic meaning, expanding outward in a radiant explosion of color. This is the sand mandala, a sacred map of the cosmos and the human mind, built from nothing but patience, devotion, and crushed stone. The creation itself is the prayer, a profound act of focus that demands absolute presence. Every single grain placed is an intention, a moment of pure attention given to something the artists know from the very first tap of the funnel will not last. And then comes the moment that defines the entire endeavor. Once the final grain is placed and the magnificent, complex artwork is complete, the monks do not preserve it. They do not frame it or put it behind glass. They perform a dissolution ceremony. With a single sweep of a hand, the intricate patterns are brushed away. The vibrant colors mix into a dull, muted pile. All that careful work, all that devotion is deliberately deconstructed. The collected sand is then carried to a flowing river and poured into the current, a symbolic offering returned to the world. The beauty was never in the possession of the finished object. It was in the sacred act of its creation and the mindful, purposeful act of its release. The mandala's entire life cycle, from the first grain to its return to the water, is a lesson in non-attachment. It shows us that we can pour our entire heart and soul into building something magnificent, and then find an even deeper peace in letting it flow back into the world, unburdened by the need for it to be permanent. A master potter sits at his wheel, but his goal is not flawless symmetry. He seeks something deeper, something alive. His hands shape the clay not to dominate it but to collaborate with its inherent nature. The final bowl emerges from the kiln with an irregular rim, a texture that begs to be touched, and a network of fine cracks called kintsugi tracing across its surface like a map. In the world of wabi-sabi, these are not defects to be hidden. They are the bowl's autobiography, the very features that give it soul and make it irreplaceable. The slight asymmetry reveals the touch of the potter's hand, a human fingerprint in a world of sterile, machine-made perfection. The rough texture tells you this is earth and fire transformed. And those cracks, they are not repaired to be invisible. Instead, they are filled with gold dust, highlighting the breaks as part of the object's history, not something to be ashamed of. This is the heart of wabi-sabi, an aesthetic that finds profound beauty in the authentic, the weathered, and the incomplete. It is the quiet beauty of moss growing on a stone, the graceful slope of an old, unpruned tree, or the warm patina on a well-loved wooden table. Wabi-sabi asks us a powerful question. What if the scars and the so-called imperfections are not signs of damage, but proof of a life lived? A mass-produced item is identical to a million others, its story beginning and ending at the factory. But a wabi-sabi bowl has a unique narrative. Its irregular shape speaks of its creation. Its cracks record a moment of change, perhaps a slight stress in the kiln, and its golden veins celebrate the repair, the act of embracing damage and making it part of a new, even more resilient whole. This philosophy invites us to look at our own lives through the same lens. The laugh lines around our eyes, the scars on our knees from childhood adventures, the ways we have been shaped and mended by experience, these are our kintsugi. They are the evidence that we have lived, learned, and grown. Wabi-sabi reminds us that nothing is frozen, including ourselves. We are all in a constant, beautiful state of becoming, of weathering, of acquiring the unique character that can only come with time and acceptance. My sands do not rush. They fall in a steady, silent stream, each tiny grain a moment slipping from the future into the past. I watch them and I understand the weight of my own design. My purpose is to hold a limited amount, to measure a finite space. This can feel like a burden, a constant reminder of an ending. It is easy to watch the upper chamber emptying and feel a pang of anxiety, a sense of loss for what is no longer to come. But that is only one way to see the flow. The true magic happens when you look not at what is gone, but at what remains. When you know the sands are running, you stop staring at the glass itself. You lift your eyes, you focus on the world outside. You begin to ask the only question that truly matters. What will you do with the time that is still flowing? This constraint, this very limit, is not a prison. It is the source of all meaning. Imagine a day with no end, a project with no deadline, a life with no sense of a closing chapter. Without that gentle pressure, our attention drifts, our efforts lack urgency. Our passions can grow dull, but when you know the hour is measured, something shifts inside you. You stop wasting your energy on the trivial. You become acutely aware of what brings you joy, what fulfills you, what connects you to others. You choose the conversation over the distraction. You savor the meal instead of merely eating it. You write the letter, you make the call, you begin the journey you have always postponed. The sand in my glass forces a beautiful, necessary clarity. Your life, in its own way, is shaped by the same beautiful constraint. The knowledge that our time here is not infinite is the very ingredient that makes our choices significant, our love profound, and our fleeting moments so incredibly precious. The hourglass does not whisper a warning of doom. It offers a gentle invitation to wake up, to participate fully in the brief, brilliant performance of your own existence. Deep within a quiet forest, a single maple leaf begins its journey as a tiny, hopeful bud. Through the gentle spring rains and the long, sun-drenched days of summer, it grows into a broad, green hand, working tirelessly to turn sunlight into life for the entire tree. It is a vital, quiet existence full of purpose, but its most breathtaking chapter is saved for last. As the air grows crisp, a profound change begins. The vibrant green chlorophyll, the pigment that has dominated its surface for months, starts to break down and retreat. As this green curtain falls, it reveals what was always there, hidden beneath. Brilliant hues of red and yellow, the leaf's true colors, blaze forth in a final, spectacular performance. This is not a slow decay, it is a revelation. The leaf becomes a torch of fiery crimson, a stunning declaration against the pale autumn sky. It holds nothing back, pouring every last bit of its energy into this magnificent display. And then, in a moment of perfect grace, it does not cling desperately to the branch. A gentle wind coaxes it, and it releases its grip. It swirls and dances on its way down, a final, joyful dance before it comes to rest on the forest floor. There, it does not simply vanish. It begins a new, essential purpose, slowly decomposing and returning its nutrients to the soil, feeding the very roots that gave it life. This final gift ensures that new buds will form when spring returns. The leaf's entire story, especially its brilliant end, shows us that letting go is not an act of defeat. It is the culmination of a life well lived, a necessary and beautiful part of a continuous cycle that gives meaning to every stage that came before. From the quiet decay of the forest floor, we turn to a creature whose entire life is a poem of radical transformation. A caterpillar inches along a branch, its world defined by the simple, tangible realities of leaf and stem. This is a life of consumption and growth, grounded and methodical. Then comes a profound inner calling, a biological imperative that compels it to seek a sheltered place. It anchors itself and spins a chrysalis around its body, entering a tomb of its own making. To any outside observer, this appears to be an ending. The creature inside does not merely sleep. It dissolves into a kind of organic soup, a liquid state where almost all its previous form is broken down. It is a state of utter chaos and potential, a seeming death that holds the blueprint for a miracle. From this liquid essence, imaginal cells, those that carried the latent code for wings and flight, begin to multiply, using the raw materials of the old self to assemble something entirely new. The breaking down is not destruction. It is the necessary, messy, and incredible process of rebuilding. Then, one day, the casing splits. What emerges is unrecognizable from the creature that entered. A butterfly, damp and fragile, pulls itself into the air, its wings slowly unfolding and hardening. Those wings are a masterpiece of transient art, painted with intricate patterns and vibrant colors that serve as both camouflage and courtship display. Its new life is a stark contrast to its past. The butterfly's existence is measured not in months but in mere weeks. This brief window is a whirlwind of purpose. It is a vibrant dance of flitting from flower to flower, of sipping nectar, of finding a mate, and of ensuring the next generation. It does not have the luxury of time, so it lives with an unparalleled intensity. Its beauty is not in spite of its short life, but because of it. Every moment of its dazzling flight is infused with a silent urgency, a celebration of the present that is only possible because the future is so clearly defined. This tale speaks directly to our own capacity for profound change. We, too, go through periods that feel like dissolution, when our old structures and identities seem to break down into chaos. These times are not signs of failure, but are often the essential chrysalis stages that allow for our greatest transformations. And when we emerge into a vibrant, new chapter of our lives, the butterfly reminds us to cherish that active, brilliant phase. To dance while we can, to fly while our wings are strong, and to pour our energy fully into the purpose of the present, knowing that this, too, is a beautiful and temporary part of our ever-unfolding story. These stone giants have outlived the empires that built them. Walk through the ruins of an ancient city where pillars stand like broken teeth against the sky and stairways lead to empty thresholds. You can feel the echo of a bustling forum, the ghost of a crowded temple. Yet this is not a place of tragedy. The beauty here is a layered one, found in the gentle surrender of human ambition to the patient forces of nature. A vine curls through a carved window frame, not as an invader, but as a tender green veil. Rain and wind have softened the sharp edges of the stone, not erasing the history, but adding to it, like a scribe adding new lines to an old poem. This is not decay as failure, it is a slow, beautiful integration. A perfectly preserved building tells only one story, the story of its glorious prime. But a ruin tells 1,000. It speaks of the hands that shaped it, the lives that filled its halls, and the long, quiet centuries that followed. It is a physical narrative of rise and fall, yes, but also of endurance and transformation. The moss and the weathering are not flaws. They are the evidence of a conversation between the creation and the world, a dialogue that continues long after the architects are gone. This melancholic beauty asks us to reconsider our own creations and our own legacies. What is the true mark of a life or a civilization? Is it only the peak of its power frozen in time? Or is it the entire arc, including the graceful return of its monuments to the earth? The way a story finds its most resonant meaning not in a single held note, but in its final, fading chord that lingers in the memory. The warmth of the fire draws a circle of light in the vast darkness, pulling us close. Logs crackle and shift, sending sparks dancing up into the night sky like fleeting stars. Within this circle, faces are softly illuminated, the flickering light revealing smiles and thoughtful gazes. Here, the fire is more than just heat and flame. It is the undeniable heart of the gathering. It demands nothing but our presence, offering a space where stories are shared and laughter rings out, clear and unburdened. The conversation flows easily, unbroken by the distractions of the outside world, because the fire itself is the only show. It is a living, breathing entity that is constantly changing, and we are its willing audience. We all understand on some deep level that this brilliant, roaring centerpiece has a limited life. The logs will be consumed, the flames will gradually lower, and the vibrant heart will eventually soften into a bed of glowing embers. This knowledge does not cast a shadow over the evening. It does the opposite. It infuses every moment with a sweet, sharp clarity. You listen just a little more closely to the story being told. You feel the warmth on your skin a little more consciously. You look around the circle at the faces you care about, and you truly see them held in this temporary ring of light. The impermanence of the fire is the very thing that pulls you into the eternal present. This is why the most profound connections are so often forged in these fleeting containers of time. A scheduled, permanent meeting in a well-lit room can feel like an obligation. But a spontaneous gathering around a dying flame that feels like a gift. Long after the last ember has faded to cold ash and the circle has dispersed, the true essence of the fire remains. It lives on not as a physical thing, but as a warm glow within memory. The specific stories might fade, but the feeling of togetherness, of shared warmth against the cool night, of being fully present with one another, that becomes a permanent part of you. The temporary flame burns down, but the light it helped kindle between people can last a lifetime. These tales of blossoms and sand, of ruins and fire, all whisper the same profound truth. Impermanence is not the enemy of beauty, it is its very source. The fleeting nature of a moment, the gentle weathering of an object, the finite span of a life, these are not flaws in the design of our world. They are the very ingredients that make our experiences so intensely valuable and so achingly beautiful. This understanding is an invitation, a gentle call to a different way of living. It asks us to practice non-attachment, not by becoming cold or distant, but by learning to hold things with an open hand, to pour our love and energy into our creations and our relationships without demanding that they last forever. When we release that demand, something incredible happens. We are freed to live more mindfully in the present. We stop anxiously grasping for a future that has not arrived or clinging to a past that is already gone. We begin to find a deep, resonant appreciation for the now, for the simple miracle of this breath, this conversation, this single passing day. We would love to hear which of these tales resonated most deeply with you. Was it the silent discipline of the sand mandala or the fiery release of the autumn leaf? Share your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation. If this perspective has shifted something for you, consider subscribing for more journeys into wisdom and story. Thank you for watching, and as you move through your day, remember to find the brilliant, fleeting beauty in every passing moment.